Hello and welcome to a sequence I'm calling Press Fly Lattes, combining the worlds of Pilates and weight training, focusing on core and upper body, specifically chest and shoulders. What you're going to need is a mat and some weights. I am using 5-pound weights for this one. We're going to bend the knees, bring the feet hip width apart on the mat, and stretch those arms open wide to the side. And let's just take the knees side to side in a nice little twist, nice twisting motion. Just warming up and breathing in. A couple more times, side to side. We'll bring the legs back to the center and we'll reach the arms up and overhead into arm circles. Inhaling up and exhaling, sweeping down and around to the hips. And about 5 or 6 of these in one direction. And then we'll reverse in the other direction. Breathing in and breathing out. Keeping hips and legs nice and still. And just warming up those shoulders. And let's find the weights and bring them up to the ceiling on top of the chest, palms facing in. And we'll start with a chest fly. Inhale, open wide to the side, and exhale, bring them up shoulder width apart. Let's not touch the weights at the very top. Let's control it, shoulder width apart, and then inhale, open wide to the side, hovering above the floor. We'll do about 8 of these. And let's pulse it out for 8. Up an inch or 2 and down an inch or 2. Not too fast, slow and controlled, bringing it right up on top of the chest. And let's lift those legs up into tabletop and start a single leg stretch. Toes pointed, one leg reaching forward, other knee bending in. Keep the trunk of the body nice and still, arms still. Focus, breathe, stabilize, and bring the feet all the way down to the ground. Stretch out those legs and let's try a roll up. Keep the weights in the hands here. Now you'll feel this more in the arms and shoulders if you've got those weights in hand. Sitting up nice and tall at the top into a perfect posture, neutral spine. And then exhale and pull the tummy in, tuck the tailbone, and roll on down. So about 4 of these roll-ups and roll-downs, and we'll stay here at the top. And we'll set up for a little bit of shoulder work, coming into a comfortable seated position. Legs crossed or otherwise, and you can also do this from standing if you prefer. Let's try a shoulder fly here. So we're going to exhale, lift the arms up shoulder width, shoulder height, and inhale lower, just hovering above the mat. And we've got about 8 of these. And of course, we're going to pulse it out for 8. Sit up nice and tall, tighten the tummy, core support in effect, and release down. Good. Let's lift up again and try some twisting here. So we're going to lower at the center with the arms, with the weights, and then lift into a T shape as we twist to the side. So let's exhale, twist. Inhale, center, and lower. Lift and exhale, twist tall. Back to the center and lower. You can do it. Happy thoughts, positive vibes, always helpful. Legs nice and still. Few more. You got this. Whew, good. Good job. And let's set up for a little seated balance here, lifting legs into tabletop. Arms are reaching forward at shoulder height, palms facing in. And let's try taking this a little lower, the low back close to the mat, and take your time lowering down onto your back. Bend the knees, feet are hip width apart. And again, arms are stretched up to the sky, weights in hand. And we're going to lower these, palms facing up closer to the hips, and then alternate with that chest fly. So drop the weights a little lower towards the hips with the palms facing up. And then bring it up to the ceiling and open into a chest fly. Keep your elbows soft, so arms are about 98% straight. No elbow locking. Inhale, lower, and exhale to lift. As you exhale, let's engage a little bit of core support, tummy in with that exhale breath. And hold out here into the chest fly T shape, and let's pulse it out. I always love a good pulsing moment. Good, lifting right back up to the ceiling again. Let's pick up those legs straight up to the sky, legs together, toes pointed, arms super still as one leg lowers, and then lift it up and the other leg lowers. We're going to scissor those legs, alternating with nice and still hips, still shoulders, the frame of the body stabilized. And bring the feet back down to the ground, stretch out the legs, flex the feet, hip width apart. It's time to roll up again. We've got 4 of these roll-ups, sitting up tall and neutral at the top, and then tucking under and rolling down. Now I'm just taking the weights to the ceiling. I'm not reaching them overhead because I've got the 5 pounds and I don't want to test the mobility or the integrity of my shoulder. So if you had lighter weights, like 1 or 2 pounds, you might be able to take the weights all the way overhead towards the floor. But I'm just reaching up to the ceiling. Okay, let's stay in a seated position here again, and we'll move to the shoulders next. Sitting up tall, we're going to lift those arms forward and then out to the side. So reaching them forward and alternating out into the side fly. Palms are facing down at the top of the move. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower. Just check the shoulders, not shrugging, but also not jamming down. Just a natural hold with the shoulders. Try not to lean back. Let's keep that core nice and strong. And then release the weights down. And let's just take a little ear drop to the shoulder, just a little neck release here. Just dropping side to side. Stay for an inhale. Exhale, switch. Just nice to include these rest and mobility moves in between our strength moves. And we're rolling the shoulders back and rolling the shoulders forward. Good, shake it on out. And pick up those weights again. Let's reach them forward. You're going to bend one elbow back and you're going to allow that move to twist the trunk of the body. So let's look behind you at that bending elbow. Inhale forward, exhale, the other elbow bends, and we allow that arm move to twist the trunk of the body. The spine rotates, the rib cage rotates, and try not to tense the legs or the hips or the knees. Let them stay still. Try to keep them out of it, and we'll lower that down, and we're going to get ready for another seated balance. Weights in hand. Let's pick up those legs into that tabletop balance, legs together, toes pointed, ankles and knees at the same height as the shoulders. Reach those arms and take the legs longer, straighten it out, low back closer to the mat, and take your time lowering all the way down onto your back. Knees bent, feet hip width apart on the mat. Pick up the weights, arms high to the sky, palms facing in. Now, single arm, we're going to widen to the side and lift it back up. And then the other arm widen to the side and exhale, lift it back up. So I like inhale, open and lengthen, and exhale, strengthen and lift. Alternating side to side and not touching the floor at the bottom, just hovering 1 to 2 inches above the ground. Not touching the weights at the top, but being in perfect control of our flowing movement. Now let's hold one arm out to the side and do little pulses up and down an inch 8 times. Big exhale, lots of abs helping to pick that arm back up to the top again. And then the second side pulsing. And exhale, abs help to bring the arm back up to the top. Let's float the legs up into tabletop and let's try bicycling the legs as the arms stay still. How close can that straight leg get to the mat before you bend it in and lift it up again? And then we'll reverse the bicycle motion the other direction. Hips, pelvis, sacrum, still and quiet. Lengthen out those legs, flex the feet hip width apart, and let's try our roll-ups 4 times. You know the drill. Inhale down. Exhale, abs in, pick it on up and sit up tall, and exhale, roll down, arms to the sky, nod the chin, and bring it on up again. And once you've done 4, we're going to stay here at the top in our seated position and move into shoulders again. We're just going to interlace the fingers and stretch them forward and up here, just taking a little moment for some stretch, some resting, some active stretching, some mobility, just before we begin to conquer another strengthening section. So releasing those arms, find your weights once more, and bring the arms wide to the side onto the floor, and let's exhale one arm at a time. We're going to lift up into that T shape, same height as the shoulder. Elbow is soft, wrist is straight. Try to keep your palm at the same height as the wrist so it's not dipping down to the ground. Exhale, lift. Inhale, control it down. Let the trunk of the body and the core also work to stabilize and resist this motion. Hold one arm out to the side and let's try pulsing 8 times. Happy, strong, confident, you can do it thoughts. And repeat to the other side. And release. Good job. Let's push those arms forward and we're going to bend and add a little extension at the back now with our twist, alternating from side to side. So exhale, bend, and then stretch the arm back behind you, bend it in and stretch it out in front of you. And stay tall, stay calm, concentrate. Focus on the midsection twisting and the upper body strengthening, and then let it go, shake it out. Just swinging the arms forward and back. Okay, and find those weights. Position yourself on your mat so you've got enough space behind you to eventually roll down, and we're going to find that balance. Pick up the legs into tabletop, stretch the arms forward, breathe. We'll take it a little bit longer with the legs, low back dropping closer to the mat, and with control, place your body down onto the mat. Knees bent, feet hip width apart, find those weights and reach them up to the sky. Let's do a little chest press. So elbows wide as they bend to the side. Palms are facing the knees the whole time. Inhale, bend. Exhale, press up. Elbows float at the bottom and weights stay shoulder width apart at the top. Got about 8 of those and we're going to pulse for 8. And then we're going to do one arm at a time, alternating. One elbow bending and pressing, the other elbow bending and pressing. Try to keep your body perfectly centered. And we're going to do a little combination from a chest press into a chest fly. So palms face the knees as the elbows bend to the side, and palms face each other as you fly the arms open and in. And let's hold at that fly position and pulse it out again. Abs, abs, abs. Bring it all the way up to the top and float those legs into tabletop. And let's do a double leg stretch. So legs extend outwards, but let's keep the low back really close and grazing, maybe even imprinting softly into the mat. As you exhale those legs forward, inhale, bend them back in. Exhale forward, inhale back to tabletop. Good, and bring the legs all the way down, straight legs, feet flexed, hip width apart. It's our roll-ups time. Sitting up tall, exhale, tucking under. Now I've got the palms facing in for this set of roll-ups. If the palms are facing down, it's just a little bit more work for the shoulders. And stay with your breath. One more. Okay, and come back to that seated position. And we'll finish with one final shoulder sequence here. So shoulder press. Bend those elbows at the same height as the shoulders, and you're going to exhale, press up and overhead, and inhale, bend back down to the same height as the shoulders. Let's not touch the weights at the very top, and let's not drop the elbows too far below the height of the shoulders. We have a very contained range of motion. We're going to pulse it out, and then we're going to press to the sky and bend one elbow at a time, alternating from side to side. Single arm, lots of breath focus and control, and core connection required here. And then we're going to do our combination shoulder fly, shoulder press. Palms face in as we open wide to the T shape and bring it up to the sky. Bend the elbows into the press and bring it up to the sky. Repeat. Lots of happy thoughts required to make it through. You can do it. Little pulses in that shoulder fly, palms to the sky, tummy, tummy, tummy. And good job. Woo! Let it go and shake it on out. Little arm swing, and I'm just letting the hands naturally hit the opposite shoulder for a little pressure point moment. And a little bit of a neck roll from one shoulder through the center to the other shoulder, like a little semicircle. That's just to alleviate any built-up tension we have in our neck due to our chest and shoulder focus with our strength training today. Okay, let's find those weights. One more twisting sequence here. Pick them up into a T shape, and if you can, keep them in a T shape as we twist 3 times to one side. Inhale to the center, and twist 3 times to the other side. Now, of course, if you need to, you can drop those weights in the middle, pick them back up again, and twist for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, tall. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, taller. 3, 2, 1. Last time. Exhale, 3, 2, and good. And oh, a little bonus pulsing here if you're feeling frisky. Let's go for 8. And release. Wow, you're amazing. We're going to do a little seated cat and cow stretch here. So hold on to those kneecaps and round the spine back, and then arch forward as you look to the sky. Drop the chin as you round back. Lift the chin as you arch forward. Exhale, air out, out, out as you round. Inhale, air in as you lean forward. It's a little spinal mobility. Since we spent so much time keeping the spine neutral, it's now time to undulate a little bit with our spine. Let's roll the wrists, kind of wiggle the fingers, get some circulation back there. And we're going to finish with an extension. So you can do this with or without your weights. I rather like the swan with the weights. So positioning them forward, you're going to bring your palm where your palm meets your wrist. You're going to place that on top of the weights and stretch those laser beam fingertips forward. And start to articulate your spine up and away from the mat, and the weights will roll in towards you. And then as you exhale, you'll press the weights away from you. You'll lengthen the arms and the spine as you lower the chest back down again. So I like to exhale, come in, breathe in at the top, and exhale, push out, breathe in at the bottom. Kind of adding the inhale in between the movement of the exercise. Going to engage the glutes just a little to drop the tailbone. Going to pick up those abdominals with your exhale on the way up at the top of the swan. And I'm adding a little rotation in the neck. Exhale, and I'm looking over one shoulder at the very top. Bring the head to center as we push, lengthen, lower down through the middle. And after about 8 swans, we'll let that go. Bring the elbows underneath the shoulders, curl the toes, and let's lift up into a final plank, elbow plank pose. Great shoulder strengthener, great chest strengthener, great total body strengthener. Do a little chin nod, almost like a double chin for me here. And then bring the knees to the mat, and let's take a well-deserved rest back into child's pose or shell shape. Reaching the arms forward, just resting the hands on the weights. And bring it on in. Good job, everybody. You've done it. We have mixed our fitness and our Pilates into an exhilarating dynamic routine, working the body from head to toe. And you deserve a nice beverage reward, like your favorite cup of tea alongside your favorite furry friend. Thanks so much, and see you again next time. Bye.